Welcome back to our podcast about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
We're gonna be talking about the different male and female roles in the story at the time and like even how it's like in today's world as well. They're gonna talk about intimacy and isolation and the consequences that it might have caused on nature versus nurture of Frankenstein's actions.
Our first question, how are male and female roles portrayed differently, and what does this say about gender dynamics during the time the book was written?
Ooh, I think that's a good one. No, really, we came up with it.
Ooh, I think that's a good one.
There's a big difference between the different male and female like characters because you can go on with Victor.
Okay, so Victor, he was like very scientific. He was curious and ambitious, but he was also isolated. And then Elizabeth, she was very compassionate and social and outgoing. And then just in general, male characters in the book are typically depicted as like more ambitious, self-centered, and actively driving the narrative.
Well, like the female characters were seen as like more passive and like motherly, and their primary role was to serve the male characters, and they kind of had to take full responsibility for whatever the men did, but then they were responsible for it, but they also like didn't get to choose what they wanted to do. Like it was all based on the males.
Yeah, and so we related this to the movie we just watched, The Streetcar Named Desire, because it also highlights the differences between the males and females in the past.
A vivid, vibrant, exciting story, because every searching chapter was written by men. Men who taught her to trust and to hope, to love and to hate. The youth who brought remembrance of yesterday. The man who was willing to take her out of the dark alleys of New Orleans. The brute who lied and cheated, who promised everything, gave nothing.
Don't you ever talk that way to me. Disgusting, vulgar, greasy. But who do you think you are, a couple of queens or something?
Could it be you and me, Blanche?
What does it cost for a string of furs like that?
Why, these are a tribute from an admirer of mine.
Well, he must have had a lot of admiration.
Lies! Lies inside and out! All lies!
Never inside. I never lied in my heart.
You got plenty of room to get by me now. You think I'm going to interfere with you?
Marry me, Mitch.
I don't think I want to marry anymore. No, you're not clean enough to bring in a house with mud.
In the movie, the men are often very like violent and like, but they're also like working class, but
They were scary.
They
They
were
could do
scary.
whatever they wanted to do.
yeah,
They can go do, what was it, poker?
yeah.
And then
like they just kick the girls out, and then like he'd be like yelling up at her, like,
yeah.
okay. But then the woman is like, she's like cleaning and like worrying about like clothes and the kids and whatever.
But like also like they also cared so much about what they look. Let's restart. They also cared about like so much like what they looked like. Like they would spend hours like trying to make sure they had the perfect outfit, and then like the men like
They just,
did whatever.
he's like coming in like dirty.
Yes, and then he like just ripped his shirt off and was like, okay, like
Like, yeah.
yeah, no.
And like how the women are meant to like stay away while the men are just like gambling, like because like they get so violent, and then like when they didn't, like it didn't go well.
I know. Personally, like I would never take that disrespect.
No,
Like I
Yeah.
was terrified
I know.
for how the men treated the women back then. They were like doormats and they just could do whatever.
Yeah, and like I feel like that is how it was in Frankenstein.
Mhm.
Like she was just like how like how like Justine like had to just like take the blame for Victor's consequence of like, oh my god, how Justine had to just take the blame for like Victor's creation when he wouldn't like take the blame for
Yeah,
it. And, like
he was being a coward.
weird.
But Elizabeth going back to Elizabeth did kind of like challenge it because she did have like the female characteristics in the sense that like she was very like gentle, but she also like wasn't afraid to like kind of stand up for what she believed and like kind of challenged the whole storyline of like the different roles at the time. Thinking about also how like Mary Shelley was the one that wrote this, and she was like one of the first females to write a science fiction to like publish a science fiction novel. Okay, yeah. A science fiction novel, which like at the time I feel like is very important because the males kind of like were in the public more and the females were more reserved and like at home and like not really talked about, but she was the first one to publish this, which I think was important.
So like science fiction is seen as like a very male dominant like genre even now, but like it was started by her and she's like, I don't know,
She's a female.
Like
woman in STEM.
That's literature. But like,
yes, good for her. Honestly, that was powerful, I feel like. And her mom, it kind of stemmed, I feel like, from her mom because her mom was a feminist, but she like advocated for the equal rights. So I feel like Mary Shelley got her inspiration on like how to like write the novel in a way that made the women seem like they had a little more, I don't know, like I feel like she highlighted the differences, but also like with Elizabeth highlighted that like it could change. Or I don't know where I was going with that one.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
But overall, the gender dynamics are shown in this book because the men have more opportunities in science. Like Victor goes off to school and to be educated, and he's like working, and he's like, I don't know, I feel like them in general is seen as more aggressive, like just like with how he handled everything, which I feel like you can still see that today a little bit. And women are more passive, and they're like meant to be there to support the men. But also, this book like defies. I'm defying gravity. Because Mary Shelley like went and she wrote her own book, and she like it was a very like cutthroat kind of book. I don't know.
I agree. And like at the time it was like published in like 1818.
18, yeah.
Like, so like at that time it was a very strong like patriarchy of like men and women. Women have to do this, men have to do.
Like for the men.
Yeah. But how do you think it's like different now, or do you think it's improved?
I mean, I think it's different now. Like obviously like women can go out and like get their jobs, get educated, write books, and it's not like seen as weird for them to write books. And men are like they can like stay at home, be a stay-at-home dad, like do like things that are more like I don't know, like seen as more seen as more like feminine.
Yes, we got that. Okay.
And yeah, I just feel like I mean still today there are like definitely people who like still want the gender roles and want the woman to cook and clean and the men to be the ones who like go and provide for the family. But I don't know, I feel like there's always gonna be people who want it to be that way, but I think times are definitely changing, hopefully for the better for us.
I know, because like we would never be able to get an education back then, which I think is crazy. Or like, can you imagine having to just stay at home? I could not do it.
No, I would be so bored.
I know, like so yeah, I feel like they definitely have changed because women are given more like they're given the ability to create their own life in a sense. Like they don't have to be at like the men's beck and call, but like obviously women still have to worry about like different things. Like people, I feel like even till today, like in gym class, remember how like they, or like even in school in general, they would be like, oh, I need like strong men to come help me move these chairs. Like, okay, just because they're men doesn't mean that we can't do it. Like that used to make me so mad because I could go pick up 5 chairs.
Exactly.
Just like all the men could, but they always would like ask for like
strong boys. Like I don't know. There's definitely, that's what I mean. Like there's definitely people who still try and like instill those ideals.
Or like how many girls are at like mechanic shops.
Yeah.
I mean, more now than there used to be, but there's still.
But yeah, like
I feel like there's like a
There's
stereotype.
yeah, there's definitely like male dominated fields and like even just like teachers, like there's like way more female teachers in our school than male teachers. Like in elementary school, I like only had like one guy teacher. Like
I did not have a guy teacher my entire
and I feel like it's important to have like that diversity of like I don't know.
They bring different experiences, point of views. Yeah, I have an experience with my brother actually, and it made me like think about before my surgery. I used to work like crazy hours, and he basically told me that in the future I would be a bad mom because I would be away from my kids too much because I would work 7 to 7. So he was like, you should be home cooking and providing for your family. Like, I feel
ridiculous.
I feel like that was crazy because men can go work all those hours and be away from their kids.
And that's fine.
But then he was like, you're going to be a bad mom. Like, I feel like that, like, made me upset, low-key. Because, like, I don't know. Like, just because I'm a working person doesn't mean
you can't care for...
Exactly.
Yeah. One time, my, like, step-grandpa, he told me it was, like, Thanksgiving. I'm just sitting there on the couch, like, full of my food, like, as I should
coma.
Be. And he's like, shouldn't you be in the kitchen cleaning with your mom and your grandpa? And with your grandma. And I was like, no. And I kind of, like, went off on him, but...
Yeah, because
I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, maybe if you are so concerned about that, you go clean yourself.
Yes.
So, like...
Literally.
It's definitely, like, still a problem today.
Do you think... with your like future spouse, do you think that you should have to do all the cooking and cleaning?
No.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it should be even. I just saw a TikTok the other day, and it was like this girl, and she was like, I'm a feminist, I can actually, oh no, it was like, I'm not a feminist, I can actually cook. And I'm like, okay, I could cook too though.
Yeah.
And like, I care about having equal rights.
Exactly.
I fear.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I feel like in a partnership it should be equal. Like, when the other one is tired, they do it. Like,
yes, I should not be expected to work 12 hours plus and then come home at night and still be expected to
be in charge of
cook
everything,
dinner, clean everything up, like
take care of the kids. Like, no, like that should be shared.
So, but a lot of things have changed since Frankenstein.
To talk about the intimacy and isolation in Frankenstein and how it was different for different characters, like how the creature like so desperately wanted a relationship, but Victor was like, he had like these deep relationships, like he had like the opportunities to have them, but he just like pushed people away. And I don't know, it like makes you wonder like why,
like he had the opportunity to have intimacy, but instead he chose to isolate himself, where the creature wanted nothing but intimacy. And like when he reached out his hand, but like Victor
and like how he literally like he would have rather been like alone, like completely separate from like the rest of the world, but have like one female companion that he would be with. But Victor, like, I don't know, he just like didn't care.
Away.
Huh? Yeah.
He took that away too. So like that, I feel like also like the creature didn't have like intimacy with like anyone in general, like just like genuine like relationships, but then he also wasn't able to have like intimacy with a female partner because Victor let his isolation get to him, and then he destroyed the female before she was like even fully created.
Like he didn't want the creature to be happy, even though it was like his own creation. And
I know. So like that,
I think that shows Victor's true self.
And like I don't know, I cannot imagine being isolated from everyone and everything. Like
no,
I'm such a
like literally from like the second he was created, how he's like
he's
reaching
just
out his hands, like he's just like a fresh new like
thing,
and Victor's like no, you're nasty.
That's like a baby not having
a mother, like
and not being loved or like being
by,
dropped
like,
off
anything.
at like a safe haven or whatever. But like even then, like if you don't have like, especially in the beginning, I mean, like if you don't have that intimacy with someone, I feel like you're just set up to like not trust anyone, like show
and that's like
isolation.
why he went and like turned so violent, because he like didn't have anyone to have those relationships with, and even when he was watching like that family, like I feel like he was still longing for the relationship, but then then he ended up killing some more people.
I know. So, like, going into that, do you think Frankenstein was the way he was because of nature or nurture?
I think nurture. Because I think if he was, like, if Victor, like, cared for him, like, as he should have, and he didn't just leave him to be, like, I don't think he would have, like, killed so many people. Like, even though, like, Victor thought, like, oh, this, like, combination of all these different parts, like, turned into something, like he thought he was a monster.
Yeah.
But he was really, it was just the way he was, like he learned about everything. Like, I don't know.
I know.
He, like went out for everything for revenge against Victor for leaving him.
Yes, like, the novel touched a little bit on nature because of, like, his body parts being from unknown origins, but the majority of the novel was, like, based off of nurture, because, like you were saying, he wasn't, like, created with intention to cause evilness. He like murdered those people because he longed for something that Victor couldn't give him, so then he turned on Victor, and then like Victor just like got what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. He abandoned all of his responsibilities, so that's like what caused Frankenstein to be the way he was.
And, like, I don't know, I feel like that's just ridiculous, like, abandoning, like, something that you brought into this world. Like, I feel like he should have really thought about the consequences of his actions before he went and, like, built this thing. And, like, I feel like maybe that's why he didn't create the female creature, because he didn't want, like, two Kookaluga things, but but, like, he thought more about it then, but it was also, like, out of revenge to get back at the creature. But yeah, I don't know.
Like, if Victor, like, showed him, like, what it meant to have, like, a companion, or, like...
like, how different would he have been?
Yeah, like, would he have done good in the world? Would he, I don't know, maybe he would have discovered
And, like, he was
something.
smart. Like,
I know.
He, like, learned, like, how to, like, talk, like, from just, like, watching people. Like, he was, like, a combination of all these people. And, like, when he, like, plotted against Victor, like, when he, like, framed him, like, that's smart. Like, I could not.
I know.
Like, how do you come up with that? Like,
he had, like, so much potential, and I think, like in general, like, it's sad to think about what happened that could have been avoided. Like, all those people, like his fiance, his dad, that could have all been avoided. Like,
if Victor literally just, like, did anything for him instead of, like, running away from the problem.
Which, like, shows the importance of not being isolated. Like, yeah, it's nice to have a break from everyone once in a while, but if you're continuously isolated and, like, causing isolation on other people, then that's a little bit of a problem, and there's gonna be consequences.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just definitely weird how Victor literally had all the intimacy and relationships, but he would rather be isolated. Like, I don't know, it's just so, but it really shows, like, the difference between them, I think.
I know.
And, like, how you want what you can't have, I guess.
Yes, like, that, yes. Oh, wow, that's so smart. I lost what I was gonna say.
One eternity later.
Like, was thinking about the nature versus nurture. It also made me think about, like, just society, and, like, in my law and justice class we were talking about this a little bit, but, like, are people born with the capability and, like, evil to kill someone, or do you think it's, like, based off, like, their childhood, peers, hardships?
Like, it's like Wicked. It's like when it goes, is someone really born wicked, or does it be thrust upon them, or whatever it says? Like, because Elphaba was raised so, like, terribly, because she was green skinned, everyone, like, pushed her away. Like, she was, like, seen to be wicked, but, like, she had good intentions. She just wanted to be like everyone else.
I never watched Wicked, but that makes a lot of sense. Like, did she turn wicked? Or no?
Well, it's like, yeah, they, like, called her wicked, like, because she wanted, like, different things than, like, the people in charge, basically.
That's so sad, Yeah, I feel like you aren't born to kill.
No, you're like
I mean,
think
you
I'm more
physically you
Yeah.
are born to kill, but like morally,
morally no. Like
Yeah.
I guess like you can have like psychological problems, but like
Mhm.
even that, I feel like part of that could be like
nurture.
like
Yes,
how you grow up.
there's certain things you can't control, like schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, stuff like that is like just like wired from your
Mhm.
brain, so that wouldn't be nurture. But
Just how you're born. Like
Yeah.
you can't control that, but
there's some of them that like you get later in life based off of like your childhood or
Mhm.
like what you experience, and I feel like that could change. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's what happens behind a murderer. Like, they aren't born with the evil to kill. They
yeah, it's not like they're born and like, oh, I'm gonna kill someone. Like,
Yeah.
that's not.
no, like
That's not
they
what-
have like experiences or something that
Mhm.
has made them want to, whether it's watching their mom or dad be abused
Mhm.
growing up, or like them being abused growing up. I don't know.
Even just like smaller examples of that, like just like how you're raised, like really
Mm.
impacts you. Like
Yes.
I don't know, just like different parts of the world. Like I don't know, like how people always say people from the South are like, I don't know. It's just how it's just different.
Yes. It's not necessarily like there's not like a right way to.
Mm.
It's just different. That's what makes the world go round.
Yes.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed this book. At first I
Yes.
thought, like, because everyone portrays it, there we go, everyone portrays it as just like a Halloween character.
Yeah.
So like before reading this book, maybe I'm just like uncultured.
No, like
But
I literally thought he was just like a monster who's like lightning strikes and
Yes.
then he's alive. Like,
Yeah,
but this book was like really good. Like,
I
it made
know.
me think about things.
and like I didn't really like realize, I mean, I don't know, I just didn't think about things as much until I read the book. So I think it's a good book that everyone should read,
Yes.
instead of just thinking that Frankenstein is
Some green monster. With
that
the
was
little.
like the
piece.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed it, because I know we did. And we will see you next time. Bye.